We'll now create a logo for the project. Press F2 and draw a selection box, including the area you wish to zoom. The background figure is placed on the locked layer, so it won't get in our way when we'll be working on the logo. Switch the Bezier tool and draw a path that looks a bit like this. Keep creating the figure by adding new lines. As we've said before, we first create a figure that consists of only straight lines, and then we convert these lines into curves. We'll then edit some of these lines to gain the shape we want. Of course, it's best to have a reference image when you do something like this, but remember that creating a new figure from scratch isn't impossible. We can also import an image, lock it and trace it using the Bezier tool. Well, the base of our figure is ready. Go to View menu and click on Wireframe. Switch to Shape tool and select all nodes. Go to Control Bar and convert these selected lines to curves. Let's select part of these nodes and convert them to symmetrical nodes. You can also just start editing the nodes and lines manually one by one. Add, delete or modify nodes to make the path look smooth. Select these nodes here and convert them to symmetrical nodes. Select the nodes on the right and convert them to symmetrical nodes also. We make this figure smoother by deleting unnecessary nodes and converting some of the symmetrical nodes. Let's delete some of the nodes up here. It's the easiest way to achieve a smooth, curved line. You can also use the Reduce Nodes option. Select all the nodes and go to the Control Bar and change Reduce Nodes value and observe how our path changes. Let's say that it looks good. We'll now create a rectangle. Switch to the Polygon tool, draw a figure and change the number of spikes to 3. Let's downscale this triangle. We'll duplicate the triangle several times and place the copies along the path. Duplicate it and place the copies like this. Select a group and duplicate it. Place it on the next leaf. These triangles will cut our base figure, making it look more like a bunch of leaves. Place groups like that under each leaf. Try to place the triangles randomly. This way the figure will look more complex. Make sure that only the top spike of the triangle overlaps with the figure. It's very important if we want the trim option to work. Place the triangles randomly on the remaining leaves. Do you remember why the order of the figures is important when we trim figures? All the top figures will trim the bottom one. Since every new figure is created on top of the old ones, all triangles will trim the bottom figure. We just need to select all figures and click on the trim icon. All elements on top will trim the bottom figure. Now place some triangles on the top leaves. As you can see, making such a figure requires a lot of patience from us. Let's now select all of these objects. Go to the Control Bar and click on the trim icon. Let's move the main figure to the side. As you can see, the trimming was successful and the object is now different. Press F3 twice to zoom out and move the main figure to the side. Now select all 3 triangles and move them to the outside of the page. Of course, we can also just delete these elements. Move the main figure back to its place and zoom in. Select the figure and change its fill color to green and set the outline to none. Our figure is now ready. Let's move on and create the next element, the palm trunk. Switch to Bezier tool and start creating the path. Construct the palm trunk from straight lines using the Bezier tool. Remember to close the path once you finish it. Select it, change its fill colour to purple and set the outline to none. Switch to the Shape tool and select all nodes. Go to the control bar and convert the selected nodes to curves. Now, let's convert all nodes to symmetrical nodes. Now, edit the path to make it look smoother. Make the top of this path sharper. It'll be much easier for us to edit this path in wireframe mode. Go to View menu and click on Wireframe. Now press F3 to zoom out. Delete some of the nodes from the bottom of the figure. Now delete some of the nodes from the top and the middle of the figure. Like before, we're now trying to make this figure look smoother. Let's move these two nodes and make the trunk smaller. Let's delete some more nodes here. Well, the palm trunk is now ready. Switch to Polygon tool and draw a figure. Go to the control bar and change the number of spikes to 3. We'll use triangles and the eraser tool to edit this figure. Let's downsize this figure and rotate it. Let's now duplicate this triangle and place the copies along the left side of the trunk. Select both the trunk and the triangles, then go to the control bar and click on the trim icon. Now select all triangles and delete them. Now use the eraser tool. Go to the crop tool menu, select eraser tool. Let's change the eraser size to a smaller value first. Let's change it to 0.3 mm. First, we need to select the figure. To do that, click once on the palm trunk. Now, erase a part of the trunk like this. It's like drawing a line with a brush. Just make sure that you start before and end outside the figure. Erase two more parts. Go to View menu and click on Normal. Switch to the Pick tool. We'll now edit the top part of this figure. Since we divided the palm trunk into several parts with the eraser tool, all we need to do is just ungroup it. After ungrouping, we'll have 4 figures. Select the figure, go to Arrange menu and click on Ungroup. Click on the side to deselect all figures. Let's now modify the top part of the palm. Zoom in on it. First, let's upscale it. Now, switch to the Shape tool and edit this path right here. Let's select this node at the bottom of the element and delete it. By using such simple actions like deleting nodes and dragging line segments, we can easily edit the shape and make it look much better. Now, upscale this element a little. Well, let's say that this element is now ready. Zoom out. Let's now group all of these elements together. Select the first part, hold Shift and add all the remaining parts of the figure to the selection. Well, instead of grouping them, let's use the Combine option. Go to Arrange menu and click on Combine. As you remember, Combine option merges all figures into one and deletes overlapping parts. Since there are no overlapping parts here, both Combine and Weld options have the exact same effect. Let's move on, switch to Rectangle tool and draw a rectangle at the bottom of the palm. We'll transform this figure in 2 waves. Select the rectangle, change its fill colour to blue and set the stroke to none. Go to Arrange menu and click on Convert to Curves. Let's now switch to Wireframe view. Switch to the Shape tool, select all nodes, go to Control bar and convert all selected nodes to curves. Let's now click on Add Nodes 3 times. If you want, you can also use the plus key to do that. Let's now look at the second pair of nodes. Omit the third pair, hold Shift and add the 4th pair of nodes to the selection. Now press the up arrow key once. Let's now revise how we can change the nudge value. Switch to the Pick tool and click on the side to deselect. Go to the control bar and change the nudge value to 2 mm. Let's move on. Go to View menu and click Normal. We'll now make several copies of this wave figure. Well, let's go back and try to edit the figure again. Press Ctrl Z. Select all the nodes and press the plus key to add more nodes. Hold Shift, select every second pair of nodes and press the up arrow key once. Let's now switch to the Pick tool. Let's duplicate the wave figure and place it underneath the original. To duplicate a figure with only the mouse, drag the figure and click with the left mouse button while still holding the right. Duplicate this figure again and move the copy slightly. Now change its fill colour. Select the blue figure underneath. We'll now change the order of these objects. Go to Arrange menu, then Order, then click on Front of Layer or press Shift Page Up. Let's remember that this shortcut works only within one layer. So when we use Shift and Page Down or Shift Page Up, the figure will not move under or above objects placed on other layers. If we would have the background on the same layer, we'd be able to move this wave figure underneath it. Switch to the Rectangle tool and draw a rectangle. Place it at the end of the second wave figure. Select both these figures, go to the control bar and click on the trim icon. Select the rectangle and delete it. Switch to Rectangle tool again and draw a big rectangle. Select it and change its fill colour to blue. Click on it again to activate the rotation points and rotate the figure like this. Well, let's upscale it and rotate it some more. Now, set the outline of the figure to none. Go to Fill Tools menu and click on Uniform Fill. Switch to the Models tool and change the model to CMYK. Let's change the sign component to 20%. In the top right corner of the window we can see both the previous and the actual colour. This one looks nice. Set the CMYK values to 20000 and click OK. Go to Arrange menu, then Order and click on To Back of Layer. Let's now move this figure down. Well, let's change the fill colour of the figure again. Go to Fill Tools menu and click on Uniform Fill. Go to Models tab and change the sign component to 40%. Click OK to accept the changes. Now create the sun. To do that, we'll use the Artistic Media tool. First, we need to deselect all objects. To do that, switch to Pick tool and click on the side. Now, switch to Artistic Media tool. Expand this drop-down list and choose some of the presets. Activate the scale stroke with the Object option. This way we'll be able to scale both the preset and the path. Let's now draw a circle. We'll change the width of the stroke placed on the path. If we want, we can also just input a value here. There's also another way to create a much better circle. Switch to the Ellipse tool. Draw a circle. We can apply a brush preset over this path. Switch to Artistic Media tool. As you can see, nothing has changed. To apply brush preset over this path, we need to expand this drop-down list and choose one of the presets. Click on a random preset. As you can see, the brush preset was applied over the circle. Let's now switch to Wireframe view. Go to View menu and click on Wireframe. Let's remember that all brush strokes created by Artistic Media tool are placed on the path. Let's convert a circle into curves. Go to Arrange menu and click on Convert to Curves. Let's move this top node down. This way the stroke will look more natural. Go to View menu and click on Normal. Thanks to Shape tool, we can edit the path also in this view mode. Switch to the Pick tool and select the figure. Now try to separate the path and the brush stroke figure. This way it'll be easier to change. Go to Arrange menu and click on Break Artistic Media Group. Click on the side to deselect all objects. Click on this black figure and change its fill colour to yellow. Go to Arrange menu, then Order and click Back of Layer. Click on the blue rectangle. Go to Arrange menu, then Order and click on To Back of Layer. Select this stroke figure and change its fill colour to orange. Let's now create the rays. Switch to the Pick tool and click on the side to deselect all objects. Now, switch back to Artistic Media tool. Expand the preset stroke drop-down list and choose a random preset. Now draw rays coming from the sun. Try to move your mouse smooth and naturally, this way the lines will look better. Of course, there's nothing stopping us from switching to Shape Tool and editing the objects like this. Click once to select the path and then drag it to change the look of the ray. If you have any problems, just switch to wireframe view. Well, the sun ray figures are almost ready. Go to View menu and click on Normal. Select all the parts of the sun figure and downscale the selected elements. We'll now subtract the yellow figure from the selection. To do that, hold Shift and click on the yellow figure. Now, change the fill colour of the selected figures to orange. All that's left for us to do is group these figures. Before we do that, let's make a little experiment. Let's talk about how we can change the brush preset for the rays. Select the rays from the right side and switch to Artistic Media tool. Go to the control bar and expand the preset drop-down list. When you check one of the presets, the selected objects will change. Now, select the rays on the other side. We could of course just select them at the same time. Select the rays on the left, hold Shift and select the rays on the right. Expand the preset stroke drop-down list and choose one of these presets. Try selecting different presets to look the best for the elements. Well, I think I'll go with this one. Yeah, that one. Let's now change the fill colour to orange. Let's move on. Select the sun, go to Arrange menu and click on Group. The second group will consist of the wave figures. Well, let's just group everything together. Select all the elements of this logo and wait, there's still one more thing we need to do. We need to add shadow to this big blue rectangle. Select this rectangle and switch to Drop Shadow tool. Draw a line that goes from left to right. Make it as long as a figure. As you can see, the control bar is now filled with the options for the shadow effect. You can use this bar right here to modify the effect. You can do the same thing with the options in the control bar. Let's set the shadow opacity to 66. This element right here regulates the blur of the shadow. Let's set it to 4 and press enter. As you can see, the blur effect is now really vague. Now change the opacity value to 40. Let's now talk about how we can separate the shadow from the figure. We can do that with the break option. Click on the figure and look at the control bar. It should now be filled with the drop shadow options. Now the break option will be active. Go to Arrange menu and click on Break Drop Shadow Group Apart. Deselect all figures and move the shadow. This shadow is nothing else than a simple bitmap. Select all elements of this logo. Go to Arrange menu and click on Group. Switch to the Text tool and click once to start creating an artistic text. Hold Shift and write Cyprio. Press Enter to go on to the next line and write Sun. Press Enter again and write Holidays. Select the text, make it bold and change the font type to Arial. If we'd use the break option now, this text would be split into separate words. Let's try that. Go to Arrange menu and click on Break Artistic Text. The second time, we'll break the word into letters. Third time, we'll convert the letters into paths. Go to Arrange menu and click on Break Artistic Text. As you can see, the word was split into separate letters. Select one letter and go to Arrange menu. As you can see, the break option isn't available. We can, however, convert this object to curves. Select the sun text and upscale it. Select the Cyprio text and make it higher. Go to the control bar, change its height to 10 mm, then press Enter. Select the Holidays text. Go to the control bar Make sure that the lock is deactivated. Change the height to 10 mm and press enter. Make the sun text a little bigger. Switch the Shape tool and drag the bottom right point of the Cyprio word. This changes the spacing between the letters. Well, let's use these two guidelines and help fit the text between them. Make the Cyprio word fit in the space between the guidelines. Move the sun word. Now, switch the Shape tool and change the spacing of the letters to make this word the width as the other two. Select all three words. Now we need to align these three elements. Since this is text, we can't activate the Align and Distribute docker from the control bar. We can convert these elements to curves, but then we would lose the ability to edit the words. But don't worry, there's other ways to activate the Align and Distribute docker. Go to Arrange menu, then Align and Distribute, and click on Align and Distribute. Click on Distribute Center icon, and then close the docker. Change the fill color of the elements to blue. Now change the outline color to white. Let's now change the weight of this outline. Go to Outline Pen tool and click on 2 mm. As you can see, the outline covered the fill of the text. Let's go to Outline Pen tool and click on Outline Pen. Activate Behind Fill and Scale with Object options and click OK. Now downscale the text. Thanks to Scale with Object option, we can scale the outline along with the text. Well, let's make the weight of this outline even smaller. Go to our Outline Pen tool menu, then click on 1 mm. Select all three words, go to Arrange menu and click on Group. Let's now group everything together. Select all parts of the logo, go to Arrange menu and click on Group.